Hi, I'm Will Sullivan. I am founder of Vision One Agency based in Chicago, Denver, and LA. So my spark from film really came from probably like my parents' taste in movies, honestly. I was way into movies more so than like the regular person when I was growing up. And the movie that really changed my life was Fight Club, and actually got a poster of it back there.
Trust me, everything's gonna be fine.
For me, that was just kind of like changed the idea of what movies could do. Originally, when I went to Columbia, I started thinking I wanted to go down the editing path. And then, half a year into that, I was like, well, why not just take classes in everything, get a wider, range of knowledge, and take classes in lighting, take classes in editing. I changed my focus just to kind of general, which was great. And then after school, I started out doing a lot of just photography gigs, just kind of get my start. From there, kind of transitioned more into video work, running gun shoots, kind of doing a lot of stuff myself, working with the DSLR, then becoming, operating with a crew of people, like kind of either myself behind the camera DPing or, kind of managing the shoots and stuff, turning into, now I'm directing more, kind of, again, behind the camera, and just kind of like being involved with projects from start to finish, I find just really fun. I've been in the industry for about 10, 11 years. I was freelancing while at college, actually, kind of gaining a client base from there. Fast forward 7 years or so, I had a larger client base and just kind of felt like I wanted to run my own ship. And it wasn't until January 2020 when I quit my previous agency. Prior to that, I was like unsure if I wanted to go to a different agency, work under another team, or do my own thing. So finally, from some help from some friends and colleagues, I got the courage to do my own thing and thought that was the best. Got together with two friends of mine from Columbia, actually, Ben Fout and Ricky Staffieri. And that's kind of where Vision One Agency spawned from. My responsibilities at Vision One are kind of everything, wear a lot of hats with, starting a small business, of course. I've learned a lot on the way. Luckily, my cousin, who's a really big mentor of mine, and my co-founders, Ben and Ricky, have just been hugely helpful from day one. Yeah, and day to day, it's, every day is different, which is great. We come up with the script, we come up with the treatment, pretty much do A to Z ourselves. Anything to kind of just be a learning experience too is what we're looking for. We kind of pride ourselves on the deep research we do and brainstorming internally. We do before projects, before even jumping into projects. We don't just kind of go into a project without proper pre-planning, the proper research, the proper development that goes into it. It is not difficult to start your own production house. Top three skills I think you have to have. You got to be, determined for sure. Know what you want to do. Try and not do what everyone else is doing, I would say. Try and find your own, kind of niche. Two, I think communication skills are huge. Being able to communicate to clients, being able to communicate to your team is, paramount. Number three, I think be open, willingness to learn. Surround yourself with people that are better than you. That pushes you more to do better, like think outside the box. Someone's perspective is not the same as yours. Surround yourself with creatives, people that you aspire to, and always shoot for the stars. I'd call it back to COVID-19. That has been the biggest challenge. And I just remember that day in specific, going to the bank. I just remember walking back home and I was like, man, what a time to start a business. But yeah, again, I'll harken it back to the team that we have, and luckily enough to have the client base that I did kind of help carry us through a little bit. It was rough, but if we can make it through this, I think we can really make it through anything. In moments of doubt, I think the team around me, pushes me forward. My client base pushes me forward. The creative itch inside me, it makes life worth living, doing what I do.